All right, welcome back to the KREM 2 Plus streaming room. We're pleased to be joined by Gonzaga senior wing, guard, forward. How should we say your position here, Jalen?
I think you hit on the head. A little
all,
bit of
all
everything.
Of those,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
All right, Jalen Warley joining us here. And Jalen, as you guys get set here for a big matchup in Seattle with UCLA coming up on Saturday, as you look over the first 10 games of the season, just quick thoughts on your first season playing at Gonzaga and what it's been like so far.
It's honestly been a dream come true. I mean, as a kid, you dream of playing in these big-time games with a great fan base behind you, a great home court, especially in the Kennel. I feel like it's the best location in college basketball. So it's been everything I've been dreaming of, and I feel like we've had a really good start. So not too much to complain about when we're playing the way we're playing right now.
And then let's kind of take people back to the beginning. You grew up in Philly, obviously big basketball scene out there, but also big sports scene. I guess, why were you drawn to the game of basketball? Did Pops play? How did you kind of get into it at first?
Yeah, so my dad played D1 with his brother at St. Joe's locally. And the way we actually got to Philadelphia was my grandpa played for the Sixers. So that's what brought us to Philadelphia. Then he taught the game to my dad. My dad passed the game on to me. And then I just think the city of Philadelphia is really competitive. We've been known mainly for basketball. And like you said, it's a sports city, so I was just always around it and just great youth coaches and great players playing with. So I think I just fell in love authentically.
So obviously big basketball family. I guess growing up, like when did you first have a ball in your hands? Was it really early on, and was Dad always trying to get you out on the court?
Yeah, no, I think it was like as soon as I started playing sports, I was just drawn to basketball. It's funny because my dad actually didn't really put too much pressure to play basketball. He wanted me to play a bunch of sports, so I was always playing baseball, football, soccer, basketball. And yeah, he would just try to be a parent. He wouldn't try to be a coach. So I think it allowed me to just kind of run my own race and find my own path without putting too much pressure on it. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
Were you any better or worse at any of those other sports? What was there anyone that kind of rivaled basketball for you?
Football.
Okay.
I really enjoy football. I played running back for a while, and then when I kind of hit a growth spurt in middle school, I was a little too tall to be playing running back, so I was getting my knees taken out and getting hit on my legs. So they say football can make great basketball players. So I think I got hit a couple times, and I knew it was time to hang the cleats up a little bit.
There you go. And then you end up going to high school. You end up being Mr. Basketball in Pennsylvania. You guys, a couple state championships and everything like that. I guess as you're, finding that success at the high school level and, coaches are starting to recruit you, just take us through that process and maybe your high school years and just kind of getting those coaches' interest and, finding, some of those schools that really wanted you, and maybe take us through a little bit of your recruiting as well.
Yeah, so high school I went to Westtown. It was one of the best prep schools in my area, and so as a freshman I didn't really play too much, but I had other high-level players in my gym. Cam Reddish, who went to Duke, kid Jake Forster, who went to Indiana. So even like within my first couple high school practices, I seen Coach K, Roy Williams, like all types of legendary coaches in my gym. So I feel like it just allowed me to motivate me to really work and understand, what I was working for. So I think not playing early on helped me, and obviously growing. I think I came into high school around 6 feet, 6'1", and by my junior year I was around 6'5". So yeah, by the time it was my time to shine and step on the court, I feel like I was well prepared because I've been going against some of the top guys in my area in the state the 2 previous years to that. And then junior year, kind of my recruitment blew up a little bit. I started getting a bunch of offers and trying to figure out what would be next for me, and just, still finding love and joy for the game of basketball. So then by the time, at the end of my junior year, COVID happened, so it kind of shaked things up a little bit. So then I did a lot of virtual visits on Zooms. I didn't really get to see a lot of campuses, so that was different for sure compared to, coming out the portal, being able to see these schools. So I winded up walking away with like around Florida State, Michigan, Oregon, and Virginia were my main schools that I was really honed in on. Fell in love with Coach Ham and the staff and just the success he's had. I think he's one of the best coaches in college ever. So really just getting to know him as a person, not just as a coach, is what made me fall in love with it. And then when I got down to Tallahassee, it was a great experience, and I loved my 3 years there.
And then I guess talk to us a little bit about those 3 years. You know, a lot of success, but you guys don't end up making the NCAA tournament. I know that's something that you've wanted to do since you were a kid.
For sure.
I guess just your time down there, what do you look back on fondly? And then what ultimately led you to, after the 3 years, deciding to enter the portal?
Yeah, I know coming into Florida State, I was really excited to play in the ACC. I feel like growing up as an East Coast kid, like I just got to see those schools a lot. Like Syracuse is pretty close, St. John's, then the Duke, the North Carolinas, the Virginias. Yeah, I think it was a dream come true being able to play in those high-level games and playing against a bunch of NBA talent and you know, just the pedigree of the ACC and the history behind even NC State. Like, there's just so much history behind the ACC. So walking into some of those gyms that, you know, I dreamed about was a dream come true. And in the 3 years, I played with a lot of really great, talented players. Like you said, we fell short of going to the March Madness and NCAA tournament. But especially being here, I feel like I have a sense of gratitude because I know how hard it is to be a top team in the country. It's not just, you know, showing up and playing the games, but it comes down to, you know, your team building and what you do in the summer and all the things that actually lead up to the season that are really important to building a successful team and successful culture. And Coach Few's done that a great job. And then coming out the portal, I kind of, like you said, that was the main thing, was just finding a spot that I feel like was going to help me develop as a player, but mainly win and go to the March Madness NCAA tournament and, you know, check some things off my list of goals that I've had since I was a kid. And I feel like Gonzaga has been the perfect spot for that to, you know, make sure all my dreams can come true.
Well, if we back up a little bit, so you played point guard at Florida State.
Yeah.
And then when you entered the portal, obviously you had a bunch of schools come calling. When they were kind of talking to you and trying to sell you on coming to their school, did they say that you could continue playing point? Did they have some other ideas for you? What was that process like?
So a bunch of schools had a bunch of different pitches. I think because I had a point guard background, but with my size, I think a lot of schools seen opportunities to be able to play me 1 through 4. And I think a lot of schools really were talking about 1 and 2. And then I think Coach Few and Gonzaga appreciated me just about the ability to play 1 through 4 and how it would cause a lot of issues for other teams. And the beauty of going to Florida State is we switched a lot of things. So I actually had some familiarity guarding bigger guys. So it wasn't really a scary thing because I felt like I've been able to do it before. It would just be a little bit of a transition, right, because I was a little bit more accustomed to having the ball in my hands. And I think coming here, like Coach Few had a great plan for me to utilize that redshirt year to really understand about playing on the ball, off the ball, being able to guard multiple positions, you know, being a leader coming into the season since I've been able to kind of see how Coach Few wants things run and offensively and defensively. So, yeah, there were some conversations. So I kind of knew what I was getting myself into coming here.
And I guess before then, obviously, you ended up committing to Virginia and
Yep.
Coach Bennett, who we all know very well up here in the Northwest. What was it that stuck out about Virginia? I know they were one of your Final Four
Yep.
schools the first time around. Obviously, always in the tournament most years. I guess just what stuck out about them that made you want to go there?
Yeah, I think they were in my recruitment coming out of high school. They were in the ACC, which I had some familiarity with already, obviously playing at Florida State. And then just Coach Bennett, like you said, his success. Like, he's been successful at all the stops he's been at. He's a even better person than he is a coach, so that was really attractive to me just on the visit, spending some alone time with him, kind of seeing how he sees me. And he had a couple players that he can kind of show me, like, hey, you have some similarities to these guys. Specifically like Reese Beekman, who was there right before I got there. I played against him a couple years. So just showing me his pedigree of being a point guard. And, you know, he played the game at a pretty high level as well. So we just had a really good visit, and it clicked. And I had a lot of respect for the program coming in just because we played them. So it felt like a really good fit for me.
And obviously then you kind of ran into this new age of college athletics where Coach Bennett decided, you know, with the NIL and everything that goes into being a head coach, now he wanted to step away. Can you just kind of take us inside the practice court and, you know, finding out that Coach Bennett was stepping away and maybe just the level of shock that you guys had and maybe what your next, you know, steps were?
Yeah, no, I think shock's the only way to put it. It was really hard for me, but I also had a level of gratitude just because I got to spend those 6 months around him. And coming out of high school, I was really torn because I really wanted to go to both Virginia and Florida State because I loved two separate styles, but I love both of what they were about, just the culture that they built at both programs. So when he first stepped down, I just kind of really thought about just the moments that I did get to be around him, and I feel like he made me an even better person, a better player. And I had a level of understanding and respect because it's hard in this day and age as a coach. I can only imagine. So yeah, that was definitely a shocking moment. But as the weeks went on, I wanted to really sit and reflect with my circle and the people closest to me, and what would be best decision for me going forward. And then I winded up deciding to enter the transfer portal.
And I guess take me through that decision, because you could have stayed at Virginia, played out your final season, and that would have been great. But deciding to enter the portal and transferring in the spring, knowing that you were going to redshirt, how difficult of a decision was that, and why was that something you ended up deciding would be beneficial for you?
Yeah, it was a really hard decision. I haven't ever sat and not played in games this long or last year. So that was a hard decision for me, just because you want to play as much as you can and you have so much love for the game. But I wanted to really just think about why I even decided to leave Florida State in the first place, and that was to give myself the best opportunity to play in March Madness. And I love the staff around Coach Bennett, but it's really hard to replace a Hall of Fame coach like Coach Bennett, especially stepping away so close to the season. So I felt like for the same reasons that I left Florida State at the time, I wanted to just give myself the best opportunity to play in March Madness, and whatever team that was for, whatever role that was for, what I was best to accomplish that goal. I wanted to give myself the best opportunity, especially, like you said, only having 1 year of eligibility. So it was really hard because I love Charlottesville. I love my teammates and the situation that I was in. But I really wanted to get at least one opportunity to play in March Madness. So that's what really went into that decision.
And, once you hit the portal, I guess, how quick was Coach Few and the staff on you, and when did those talks first begin? Yeah,
Coach Barsh, if he wasn't right the minute I hit the portal, it was within those first couple hours. We already had a previous relationship with me at Florida State, so he had my number locked in, gave me a little text message, and then probably within the next couple of days we got on the phone. We started to kind of rekindle our relationship. We already kind of kept it even when I was at Virginia, and he actually helped me when I was in the portal coming out of Florida State. Just wanted to run some ideas and bounce ideas off of him. So he was already trusted in my circle, whether it was going to come to Gonzaga or go somewhere else. So we kind of picked back up on that relationship, and he gave me an in-depth explanation of Gonzaga and Spokane and what to expect. I kind of got on the phone with a couple of other coaches trying to figure out when I can get on campus and see everything. And so from there, it was just it felt like a perfect fit.
And I know you took a visit to Iowa State as well as GU. I guess when you did come up here, what was it that stuck out about this place that you decided that this is where you wanted to be?
Yeah, I felt, and even at Iowa State, but specifically at Gonzaga, I just resonated with the underdog story. I felt like Coach Few and the staff has done a great job over years building this program into a national powerhouse, and they do it with. We've had some 5-star and 4-star guys, but I feel like they've also done a great job of getting guys under the radar who bring a certain level of toughness and have a pride to Gonzaga and play, for the name on the front of their jersey. And I feel like that's always kind of been the guy I was. Even at Florida State, I always would try to do the little things and try to be the best teammate that I can be. So I felt they weren't just, telling me about it, but they were showing me examples of guys who've been successful, who kind of have similar mindsets and who are willing to do anything it takes to win. So when I, learned about that and saw how important it was to Coach Few and his program and his culture, I thought it was a perfect fit for me.
And then, you make your way up here, and you were around the team all year. We saw you in the locker room throughout the season. I wonder what that year was like, because as you mentioned, you really wanted to play, but, you redshirt and, you have to watch. I know last year's team probably could have used some of that defense that you bring in night in and night out. But what was last year like, just learning Coach Few's system and getting accustomed to some of these guys maybe off the court and also going against them in practice?
Yeah, no, I wanted to try to maximize it on the court especially, so I was just trying to bring that defense and trying to help them be prepared for whatever game that they had. But it also made me a better defender, being able to guard Ryan, Nolan, KB. It really pushed me because it was, guys who are really talented offensively, different skill sets, but all very talented. So that helped me get me better, and I also was able to help them get better. And then, it was hard. Like, I really wanted to play. I felt like there was spots that I feel like, whether it was rebounding, defensively, leadership, that I could really, like, help last year's team. So I just tried to challenge myself to do it. So off the court, even though I'm not playing in games, I would just try to tell the players that were on the court what I saw, or different opportunities, or, like, scout and report things. This guy's going to drive right, this guy's going to drive left, just trying to almost be an extension of the coach as much as I can. And it was really helpful having Steele and B. Smith with me, like, great guys, some of the guys I spent the most time around last year since we were all redshirting, and kind of just talking about, like, what this team can bring last year, but also, when we finally get the opportunity to step on the floor, like, what are some things that we can learn from this team, like, good or bad, and just try to maximize this year and help us kind of propel into the next year. So those guys were pivotal points in kind of helping me adjust to Spokane and understanding Gonzaga basketball, and kind of learn and watch together, because all of us wanted to get back on the court. So
Gotcha. And then as we entered the summer, there was a lot of roster turnover. You guys lost a lot of seniors.
Yeah.
Some guys left in the transfer portal. But then you bring in guys, and I'm curious, as you're getting to know your new teammates, kind of the adversity of having to sit out a year seems to be prevalent on this team. And, back when I went to Gonzaga in 2015, this was the norm at
Right.
GU. Everyone was redshirting. Nigel Williams-Goss was an All-American, and he redshirted.
Right.
And so I just wonder what it was like. Graham's missed time due to injury. Braden redshirted. You mentioned Braden and Steele.
Yep.
Yourself.
Yep.
Tyon's had his whole situation.
Yep.
Adams missed the season.
Yep.
What was it like kind of having that in common? And do you think that maybe helped bond you guys a little bit quicker?
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys we just talk about, like, when you're not playing, you just have so much, like, gratitude towards the game of basketball, because, like, we never ever have sat before. Like, you start playing when you're 5 years old, and you play as much as you can. So we were able to kind of have those conversations and just talking about, like, bringing in those guys. They already had so much maturity, and they've already played their own, like, great careers and have seen different things. So we kind of just brought all of our minds together and just talked about, like, on teams that have been successful versus teams that have struggled, like, what are some of the common things that we've all seen. And each guy brings a different aspect, especially with their skill set, but also a different perspective. So as an older group, we were kind of just able to sit around and be like, this is the team that we want to be. Like, wins, losses are going to come, but we want to have a certain identity that, when fans and the rest of the basketball world is tuning in, like, this is who Gonzaga basketball is, and these are the type of people and kids they are. So it's been great since summer, kind of just continuing to chip away at that identity and put it on display for the world.
Going more into that identity, you've brought defensive intensity throughout your career. It's a huge part of your game. But this team as a whole seems to have really come together on the defensive end this year. And I'm curious, being here last year, when did that kind of start in your mind? And when do you think it really clicked that, okay, we can really hang our hat on being a strong defensive team?
Yeah, I think even last year's group, I would try to bring in as much as I can in practice. I know B. Smith would try to bring it on the red squad, so it would make things competitive. But, it's hard when, like you said, we have a big turnover with a new group. So I think it really just started in the summer, like, having so many great players. I think we just really competed, and we were, we're picking up full court and pickup. And a lot of teams I've been on, pickup is kind of just where everyone tries different stuff and, works on their game and stuff like that. But we really were, we're going to pick up full court, like, when it's just us playing, no coaches, like, we're just doing it for this is who we want to be. And so we would really compete every single day, and we were trying to win pickup games. And then it just rolled over into practice when we were doing our summer workouts. And we also just have a lot of really talented defenders. I think, like, coming here, being able to play alongside Emmanuel, specifically for me, like, it was, a lot of fun having another guy who's a great defender. Then everyone else kind of had that same intensity. So I think it just really it kind of was who we were the first time we started playing. And I think we all have pride in it, and the coach did a great job of building a roster that all has the ability to play defense at a high level. So I think it started since the very beginning, honestly.
And I guess let's kind of get into this year. You know, we talked a little bit about your versatility already, but I mean, Coach Few's played you a lot at the 4. You've played the 3. You played the 2. You brought the ball up. You've been a small ball 5 this year. I guess just being able to play kind of 1 through 5 and having, you know, your coaches put that trust in you that no matter where you are on the floor, you can make an impact. Obviously, that's something you worked on your whole life, but to have that, you know, come to fruition here and Coach Few, you know, leave you in for long periods of time, even when the ones go back in when you're on the bench. Just kind of what has that meant to you, and what has this season overall been like, you know, playing at all those different positions?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I think even on my visit, I think about how I was just picking his brain about being a coach on the USA team, because there was a lot of glue guys on that team, like the Drew Holidays, the Derek Whites, where they were playing a bunch of different spots because there's talented players around them. So I tried to continue to just keep that mindset of like how I can impact winning, whether I'm bringing the ball up, not bringing the ball up, whether I'm the one getting the screen or I'm the one setting the screen, and just trying to how can I impact the game and help us win. And that's ultimately what's fun to me, is just trying to find different ways to be able to gel with different groups. Like we may have a bunch of different lineups out there, so how can I kind of be the glue that connects, you know, each lineup that I'm with. So it's been a lot of fun, and the coach have done a great job of just showing me different opportunities that I can affect the game, whether it's on film or actually in the game, you know, telling me what they see and adjustments, stuff like that. So it's just been a lot of fun because I've been able to see the impact it's had and how it's helping translate to winning, and my teammates have done a great job embracing my skill set and putting me in positions to be successful. So it's just been a lot of fun overall.
Yeah, and, you know, here we are, you know, 10 games into the season now. You guys have looked dominant at times, unstoppable at times. Yeah. You have one game you'd probably like to erase from your memories. For sure. I guess just overall, what do you take away from the season so far? And as you move forward, conference play is right around the corner. What can you take from, you know, this early season run and move and use going forward?
Yeah, I just think we just got to continue to focus on getting better. I think we've done a great job of like not being satisfied. I think it was a gift and a curse, that Michigan game. Like, you know, obviously you want it back because I think it could be a different outcome if we were to play them again. So I think we're using it as a way to propel us forward. And how can we continue to get better? What can we learn from those games? And even in our blowout wins or our close wins, like, there's still room for improvement. There's still ways that, you know, we can turn the ball over less, or we can make more free throws, or we can, you know, be better on the defensive end, rebounding, just like the things that, you know, translate to winning. So as players and coaches, I think we've all been on the same wavelength of like there's always room to get better. There's always room to grow. So when you focus on kind of the growth versus like, hey, it's really cool of how many games we're winning or we're blowing out all these teams, when you just focus on the process of getting better, it keeps you in the moment and it keeps our team continuing to roll in the right direction.
And with this, you know, being your last ride here in college, I guess what would it mean to, you know, make a deep run in March and you finally get to play on that stage in your career with this group of guys that, you know, you've gotten to know over the last 5-6 months?
Yeah, it'd be everything to me, and I think we're headed in the right direction. We're taking steps towards that, and I think we all have the same goal. So I think when, you know, all the guys that are playing together all want to accomplish the same things, and I think we all know. You know, with it being my last year and a lot of other guys who are seniors, you know, like success comes from team success. So the farther we go in March Madness, the better all of our careers will go after this. And just being able to look back on college and make this be the unforgettable season that, you know, I always talk about in 30 years and you know, just really have a really special season that hopefully that will inspire, you know, the younger guys to continue it going after we leave and just leave Spokane and Gonzaga with, you know, a great season to remember.
And just 2 more for you. Off the court, where do we find Jalen Warley? What are you doing when you're not playing basketball?
Yeah, I'm usually at home. If I'm not on the court or I'm not getting treatment or in the weight room, I spend a lot of time with my son. He's 1 year old, so that's been a new challenge. Like just like basketball is, it's there's ups and downs that come with it, and it's been kind of a new thing for me to learn. So I love spending time with him. And just trying to make the most of his childhood and me being a father. So it's been a beautiful journey. And, you know, just finding new spots in Spokane. I'm a big food guy, so I've been just trying to find different places and just learn the community as much as I can.
Do you have a favorite spot that you found so far?
I'm a big Wood City guy.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a fan of Wood City. So Umi's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
even the Scoop, the ice cream spot that's across from me. So just a couple. But yeah, just continuing to find new spots, and there's a lot of really good food spots that I've come encounter with so far. So.
And then that was my last one. I'm glad you hit on it. You know, being a father as well as, you know, a collegiate athlete, obviously there's not a lot of time to go around. Just the difficulties in managing that, but also, you know, being there for your son at this early stage in life, and, you know, what that means to you to be, you know, dad, but also, you know, be there for your team. And, you know, how do you just kind of wrap your head around all of it?
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I think what's the coolest part is like we're both learning together. So like we're growing together, and he's, you know, learning the world, and I'm learning this new world of being a dad. And I think it's just helped me to have perspective, even just with my teammates. My teammates are great around him. They're always asking about him, making sure he's okay, and just like there's a lot of similarities just with being in a locker room with a bunch of guys, and also, you know, being a father at home. So. It's kind of been a blend of both my worlds together. I've been able to bring him around the gym, you know, bring him around Coach Few and the staff, and, you know, they embrace him. So it's just kind of reminded me and reassured me of this being – I already knew it was the right decision, but seeing him being around the facility and the guys and the coaching staff embrace him just, like, reminds me of the decision I made and how it was a perfect one, because I'm around some really great people every day. So.
And UCLA on Saturday.
Yeah.
Didn't go your guys' way last year. Just quickly, what needs to change coming up here on Saturday to finally exercise those Climate Pledge Arena demons and get you guys a win in Seattle?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be about our preparation, really making sure we understand what UCLA likes to do. They have a really talented roster, some great coaches. So just understanding their game, taking each game one at a time. So just really putting all of our attention to UCLA and just the skill sets and what they're known for offensively and defensively. So I feel like if we just really dive into the preparation and we're ready to go Saturday, we'll get the result that we want.
There you have it. Jalen Warley, best of luck on Saturday, and best of luck the rest of the season. Appreciate you joining us, man.
Thank you for having me. Yep.